at 5, the investigation continues into what caused an evacuation and more than 50 students and staff in Spooner to require medical treatment. Plus,
I think that it's a very serious conversation, and I think most people are going to say we've got to make sure that if there are toxic fumes in our schools, we need to have a requirement for detection.
Should carbon monoxide detectors be required in schools? We're hearing from lawmakers. And no more beds. That's the message from Itasca County hospital leaders as critical care for COVID patients rises.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Briggs LaSavage. New details tonight on a developing story out of Spooner, Wisconsin. After dozens of middle school students and staff got sick Wednesday, authorities are now turning their investigation toward a product used in nearby utility work.
That product, state authorities are telling us, may not have had approval. What's being described as a strong epoxy-like smell forced the middle school building to evacuate Wednesday morning. Tonight, a Wisconsin Department of Safety and Professional Services spokesperson, Michael Tierney, told us a sewer realignment project was happening in the surrounding neighborhood at the time. He said crews were using an epoxy resin product, but at this point, Tierney says it appears that product may not have had approval, and there may have been an issue with how much pressure crews were using when realigning the sewer.
The City of Spooner Utilities Division told us the work being done on the neighborhood sewer line was routine maintenance done once every few years. This particular job was contracted out to Michael's Utility Services. They were tasked with rehabilitating the sewer line so it doesn't get clogged. We reached out to Michael's to see if there was anything unusual about their work on Wednesday, but we have not heard back.
In a press release today, Spooner School District leaders say homeowners in that area got a heads up about the sewer work before it started. They claim the school district never got that information and was not able to take precautions it was suggested homeowners take.
And updated numbers from Spooner school officials report 16 more people sought medical treatment since Wednesday's evacuation. That brings the total number of people to 60. That includes 36 students and 24 staff members. We know 2 students had to be taken to Duluth for treatment. They were both released from the hospital yesterday.
We're also learning tonight the Wisconsin DSPS and the Spooner School District say testing showed carbon monoxide levels in the building were normal at the time the tests were taken. We don't know exactly when that was.
But you'll remember the hospital records for 2 students who we heard from last night show CO was detected in their systems along with other harmful fumes. That's a big reason why this incident is raising some serious questions about why only 5 states require carbon monoxide detectors in school buildings. You can see on your screen there that Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Michigan are not on that list.
CBS3's Quinn Gorham spoke with Wisconsin state legislators about that today to find out if they expect the requirements to change.
I talked with both Republican and Democrat leaders in Wisconsin today, and both say this is obviously a concerning issue. State Senator Janet Bewley, a Democrat, says she fully supports introducing new legislation to require carbon monoxide detectors in schools. According to Bewley, there haven't been enough incidents like this to have previously prompted a law to be put in place. But Bewley says she anticipates a bill to require carbon monoxide detectors in school buildings could garner bipartisan support, as she doesn't see many downsides.
When you're talking about children, I think that it's a very serious conversation, and I think most people are going to say we've got to make sure that if there are toxic fumes in our schools, we need to have a requirement for detection.
Bewley says she sends her support to all the families involved in the Spooner incident. Meanwhile, Republican State Representative David Armstrong also says he supports the idea in theory, but wants to do more research before backing or introducing a bill. Armstrong claims there are still plenty of unknowns with the Spooner situation to make any what he calls knee-jerk reactions.
All right, thank you, Quinn. And we have learned today that in Wisconsin, carbon monoxide detectors are only required in some buildings.
In 2010, the state voted to require them in homes. They're also required in hotels and any public building used for sleeping or lodging, but that does not include hospitals or nursing homes.
Well, students will be learning remotely until the school is deemed safe to return. The school district says students will be able to pick up their computers and other materials on Monday. Parents will be notified about times for pickup, which will be located at the Spooner Wesleyan Church.
New at 5, an Aurora woman and an 11-year-old boy died following a 4-vehicle crash on the Iron Range. It happened just before 4 yesterday afternoon on Highway 135 near Gilbert. The highway was shut down for 5 hours. This was the scene there around 6 last night. The Minnesota State Patrol says one car traveling west lost control and crossed over the center line, hitting another car. 2 other cars crashed into them. 32-year-old Betty Smith died, and so did 11-year-old Dakota Smith. 10-year-old Maddie Smith was seriously hurt. They were all in the car that crossed over the center line, along with another boy who was taken to the hospital. The drivers of the 3 other cars had minor injuries. While we don't know what caused the crash, road conditions were snowy and icy at the time.
A woman has been charged after police say she caused the crash that killed a 148th Airman. 21-year-old Tabitha Sigler faces 1 count of criminal vehicular homicide. Police say the Cambridge woman was under the influence when she crossed the median on I-35, striking another vehicle. Master Sergeant David T. Greiner died in the May 14th crash. It happened near Hinckley. According to the criminal complaint, police found meth and an open bottle of whiskey in Sigler's car. They say it also smelled like marijuana. Her blood test came back positive for the drugs. Sigler faces 10 years in prison if convicted. The St. Louis County Attorney is now deciding whether to file charges in a fatal crash involving a DTA bus. The crash happened in early September in the Miller Hill Mall parking lot. 64-year-old David Weston was hit and stuck under the bus. He died at the scene. Duluth police just finished their investigation into what caused that crash. They said they would release their report once the county attorney's office shared its findings.
Itasca County health officials say there are no more open beds for critical patients in the county and nowhere to send people who need one. That's thanks to high numbers of COVID patients. In the past week, there were 318 new cases reported in that county alone. Officials are warning of a high-risk November with numbers likely to surge past peak 2020 levels. They say local facilities are trying to find workarounds now, but are getting overrun with high numbers of patients who need intensive care. They are pleading with residents to do everything they can to limit the spread in the coming weeks, especially with Thanksgiving just around the corner.
COVID hospitalizations are soaring in Minnesota. Today, health leaders said they've climbed to more than 1,200. Hospitals in the Twin Cities are being forced to delay certain procedures and treatments to care for all of the COVID patients. And in Wisconsin, COVID transmission has spiked to critically high in 8 counties, including Douglas, Sawyer, and Washburn. Well, Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, just as you predicted, I did some shoveling this morning.
But not as much shoveling as I initially thought. As the time went on, the snow total predictions kept coming down till we finally hit a range of about 3 to 6 for up north, and the rest of us got a good soaking rain. And now that that low is leaving, our temperatures are taking a nosedive. Take a look at today's high temps. In the wake of the low pressure system, Iron Range numbers dropped into the lower 30s, and this is for highs. These aren't current temperatures. A little bit warmer in Wisconsin and Michigan where the rain reigned supreme there. High temp, for example, 42 hit Ashland, though it was chilly in Solon Springs at 36 and only 37 for Watersmeet. Well, we've got another low pressure system coming our way. As that rainy and snowy low departs our scene, we've got an Alberta Clipper coming to call on Saturday, and that's going to bring another chance for snow to the area. Probably just light stuff, traced to an inch or so for Minnesotans, but thanks to lake influence, Wisconsin and Michigan could do a little bit sassier tonight. Temps in the 20s. Tomorrow, only the low 30s for the highs. Any big warm-ups coming our way for the week ahead? There might be one small one, and I'll show it to you with the 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, Sawyer County is asked to help the University of Wisconsin with a food availability survey. Details on that as we take you around the Northland after the break.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
I know, but Mom, don't skip your recommended vaccines. They help protect you against certain diseases, so ask your doctor or pharmacist about any recommended vaccines you may need. Skip the other stuff instead, like, I don't know.
Skip the pants. Huh?
They're already doing that.
Nice.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Cully.
Yeah, so skip one of those mini Zoom parties. No, Mom, no. Not our Zoom party. I lost her.
Kristen Bakke is as local as our evening news.
I'm from here. This is my home. I learned how to do a left-handed layup right there. At that hoop, that exact hoop.
Covering the communities she calls home too.
You know, there's nothing phony about it. That's who she is. She's just a natural at it, so I enjoy watching her because she's so good at what she does.
Leaders at Hibbing Taconite are scrambling at the Minorca Mining family heritage and iron mining history.
For everything local, watch Kristen Bakke on Live Local CBS3.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Bakke, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining. A fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Bakke. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS3. Brought to you by Range Regional Airport.
I'm Nora O'Donnell in our nation's capital. We're here at the White House with the President of the United States.
Thanks for having me.
Our exclusive access to the presidential platform. We will witness yet another moment in history.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell from Washington, D.C.
Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News. Live at 5, here's a live look from Spirit Mountain tonight. After yesterday's rain and the chance of more precipitation in the forecast, Duluth Parks and Rec announced that all natural surface trails will be closed during the freeze-thaw cycle. They say trails will reopen once the ground has frozen. Dave will be in with this week's full forecast in just a few minutes, but first, let's take a look around the region.
A hockey league fundraiser in Proctor and a winter clothing drive in Bayfield. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start off in Sawyer County, where they are looking for public feedback on local food availability systems. The survey is for residents of Sawyer County and the Lakota Ray tribe only. The University of Wisconsin Extension Office is putting out the survey as part of their study on the perceptions of local food opportunities. The results will then be used for future teaching programs. We will have a link to the survey on our website. Next, we head to Proctor, where a local hockey team is hosting their annual fundraiser this weekend. The Proctor Amateur Hockey Association is hosting their Make and Take fundraiser in partnership with the Duluth Flower Farm on Sunday morning. At the event, visitors are invited to create their own wreaths, porch pots, or Thanksgiving centerpieces. The event will be held in Superior. And next we head to Bayfield, Wisconsin, where the community has announced they are joining the Wisconsin Big Bundle Up program this winter season. The program encourages community members to drop off gently used coats, hats, gloves, and other warm winter gear. The collection box will be at the Bayfield Chamber and Visitor Bureau, and all collected items will then be available to children and families within the Bayfield School District. The drive begins today and runs through January 7th. And an update tonight to a story we brought you on Monday. Hibbing Police Canine Officer Chase has fallen behind in treat sales. You'll remember he is in a friendly competition with Canine Officer Debo from Michigan. Whichever dog has more treats purchased in their name will win a year's supply of the treats, and all the money raised will help purchase dog vests for a police department in need. We will have a link to the competition on our website, and the contest ends on Sunday. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, holiday spirit is already in the air. See the generous gift that the Duluth Fire Department received coming up in just a few minutes.
This latest low-pressure system brought more rain than snow to the region, but it brought plenty of rain. Duluth's numbers, over 1.5 inches. Now we're running a 3/4 of an inch surplus for rain, and we needed that since it's been awfully dry for the year 2021. Well, what's tomorrow going to bring? Another chance for snow this time, rather than the rain. We'll talk about an Alberta Clipper coming to call, coming up after our break.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
The Royal Enfield Bullet was designed in 1955 and not updated until 2008. It takes an experienced hand to keep one running. I've ridden in the rain and the snow, but prefer not to. That's why motorcycles and meteorology go together so well. It also takes an experienced hand to make an accurate riding forecast. As our region's longest-serving meteorologist, I think I have the touch needed to get it right.
Watch Dave Anderson weeknights at 5, 6, and 10.
Be a little bit brave. Don't ever be afraid to.
I got a couple questions.
Do you think it's time for schools to reopen? There is some positive breaking news. We've got a lot of important new information for you and your family.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
We talked with Wisconsin state legislators about whether we could soon see carbon monoxide detectors in schools.
The Arrowhead of Minnesota got most of today's snow. A Clipper's coming tomorrow. I'll talk about who's getting it this time.
Tonight at 6 on CBS3. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, it was about a week ago where the computer models got a hint of snow coming our way for this week. And, of course, they started off explosive. They often do that. Big, huge totals. Some people ran with those, and others waited to hedge their bets. And as the week went on, every day the models came down a little bit. And now that the snow's actually been here, well, it wasn't that impressive. Really, it only hit the folks in northern Minnesota for the inland areas. The rest of us got rain, but snow totals around 6 inches weren't too bad for International Falls. Keewatin and Bovey got totals like that as well. In the 5-inch range, we had Reamer and Ash Lake and Marcel. Bike, 4 inches. Grand Rapids, about 3. Another chance of snow is coming our way tomorrow, though, with an Alberta Clipper. And I don't think it's going to be much sassier than this. In fact, this looks really sassy compared to what's coming our way. You know, Clippers hit you quickly and then they leave with just a little bit of snow in the wake. But for our friends in the South Shore, the snow belt, they may get a little lake influence to make their totals a little bit healthier. We'll show you the latest map on that here in just a bit. Right now, we've got the current conditions. It's 33 degrees at the airport. 82% is the relative humidity, north-northwest wind. That's going 12 miles per hour. Could go 15-20 as the night goes on, so a windy night. Air pressure is low at 29.83 inches as our low-pressure system leaves to be replaced by a Clipper tomorrow afternoon. So odds are barometer readings are going to stay low until Sunday when partial sunshine could come to call. Right now, the temperatures are in the lower 30s for the Upper Peninsula. Low to mid-30s in northern Wisconsin, 32 the cool spot in Solon Springs, 36 the warm spot in LaPointe, Superior and Ashland in between. Minnesota numbers have dropped towards 28 in my home country there of Ely. Up the Gunflint is like that as well, but otherwise lower 30s for much of the rest of the state. 30, for example, in Hibbing, 34 down towards Moose Lake. High temperatures are going to be like that tomorrow, maybe only in the lower 30s. And thanks to cloud cover tonight, overnight lows aren't going to be that brisk either. Well, here's a look at the upper Midwest situation. Here in our neck of the woods, our low pressure system is leaving, setting us up for the Alberta Clipper to come in for probably late Saturday afternoon and into early Sunday morning. Clippers come by fairly quickly, and they don't leave that much in the way of precipitation. So here's what I think could come across during that period. Our weekend clipper will bring most zones a trace to 2 inches of snow. And thanks to a little bit of lake influence in the snow belt for northern Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula, it might run 2 to 4 inches there. Now let's run into the forecast here for tonight in Minnesota. I think the low temps will go from about 19 to 29 degrees with a mostly cloudy sky. There may be a lingering chance for a couple of juicy snow showers as well. Easterly wind 10 to 20 miles per hour near the lake, maybe northerly inland. Same deal for Wisconsin. Easterly wind possible by the lake, but northerly wind more likely farther inland. A little bit of lake effect is possible as far as the snow goes for overnight tonight. Wisconsin, Michigan low temps about 24 to 29 degrees. So for tomorrow, 70% chance for the clipper and the lake effect to bring snow to Wisconsin and Michigan. Highs only running 31 to 35. And in Minnesota, those numbers aren't much fatter and sassier there. 30 to 35 degrees, though 37 could hit us right by the lake. 60% chance for that clipper to bring snow to that side of our world. Now, our extended forecast. No big warm-ups coming our way this week in general in the 30s, though the exception will be Tuesday. That'll be warm enough for a 30% chance of rain as the highs hit 42. Otherwise, high temps in the 30s like we mentioned, overnight lows generally in the teens to 20s. After our 60% chance for the precip on Saturday, it's going to be fairly high and dry despite that chance for the rain on Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Dave. Glensheen's holiday tour season has kicked off today. Glensheen Mansion employees spent 2 weeks preparing the mansion and decking its halls and grounds in preparation. Visitors will see 25 Christmas trees and 25 hidden elves around the mansion. New this year are 25 naughty elves hidden on all 5 floors. Glensheen leaders say the original owners made sure to always celebrate Christmas together.
Christmas really meant a lot to the Congdon family. They celebrated it as a family right here at Glensheen, coming back from all over the country to celebrate Christmas as a family here at the mansion. So it means a lot to us that we get to celebrate the holidays with you all today.
And starting Black Friday, Glensheen will launch its Spirit of the Lights outdoor holiday display, which is open to the public.
The Duluth Fire Department has a few new reasons to be thankful this holiday season. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union has donated $10,000 for new rescue equipment to the department. They donated an airlifting bag to help firefighters lift heavy objects during rescue operations like car crashes or building collapses. In 2019, Affinity Plus also donated a personal watercraft to the fire department to be used for water rescues. It is that time of the show where we get to talk about adoptable pets, and today's pet comes to us from the Humane Society of Douglas County in Superior.
Yeah, this is Casey. She's a 10-year-old cat looking for a loving new home. Too cute. Some video today, too. That's awesome. Our friends at the shelter tell us she is very outgoing and loves attention. So if you're looking for a new snuggle buddy as winter rolls around, Casey is your girl.
Yeah, she looks pretty snuggly.
She does.
If you'd like to set up an appointment to adopt Casey, then you can call the number on your screen.
I like her bright eyes, too. Very cool. Well, still to come, Duluth's tourism numbers are in. See how this summer compared to those past. Coming up in just a few minutes.
I'm Carrie Harris, owner of Diabetic and Comfort Shoes. We have been in business in the Northland, helping you with your everyday foot problems stemming from diabetes to plantar fasciitis for the past 17 years. Stop in and see the complete line of men's and women's shoes, from SAS to Allegria to Vionic, for those millions of people battling plantar fasciitis. And we still have a great selection of comfortable shoes for diabetics, Medicare and Minnesota healthcare approved. Remember, no foot problem is too big or too small. We'll find the way to your soul.
It's starting to get cold outside. Northwest Outlet is ready with fresh new inventory to keep you warm this fall and winter from Carhartt. Men and women know when they shop Northwest Outlet for Carhartt, they know their stuff. They carry more styles, more sizes, more colors, and more flame retardant Carhartt than anyone in the Northland. Jackets, jeans, shirts, gloves, bibs, hats, belts, socks, and sweats. We've got them all. Check Northwest Outlet's gigantic selection of long underwear, along with Carhartt work boots, rugged but comfortable. Northwest Outlet, home of Carhartt Superior.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain. It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
You can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
All of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains. Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Doesn't really matter who you are, where you live, you have to any family.
People reach a crisis moment and they don't see any other way out.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for people ages 25 to 34. People struggle with it every day.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Tiffany. If you or your loved one struggles with their mental health and or thoughts of suicide, no, you are not alone. Reach out for help and talk to someone.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Eric Paulson here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
We talked with Wisconsin state legislators about whether we could soon see carbon monoxide detectors in schools.
The Arrowhead of Minnesota got most of today's snow, but Clipper's coming tomorrow. I'll talk about who's getting it this time.
Tonight at 6 on CBS3.
Tourism in Duluth is continuing an upward trend. City officials say tax revenue exceeded expectations for August and September. With more than $9.3 million collected this year through September, tourism revenue is up 42% from the same time last year. It's also 35% more than what was projected. For August and September, Duluth actually saw more tax revenue this year than in 2019, before the pandemic. The numbers signal a strong return for an industry that was hit hard by the pandemic.
After more than 3 decades of business, one Duluth company is getting new ownership. Liz Howard, who owns On the Limit on West Superior Street, is retiring after 34 years in the screen printing business. She started the company after visiting the West Coast, where she was introduced to the craft. Howard said the timing was right for retirement, and she did not have to look far for a new owner. Christian Benson, owner of Frost River and Superior Tech, will become the new owner. Howard says she feels confident leaving the business in Benson's hands.
He was willing to retain all of the employees here, keep the company running under the name On the Limit, and not just tear it all apart and segment it and such like that, and just bringing a good vibe to it.
Howard says she has customers that have been coming to her shop for 3 decades. Benson hopes with this new ownership he can show the importance of community connection. And we'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
The struggle is real. With Healthy Systems USA, you can lose up to 50 pounds in 2 months. Healthy Systems USA. We help jeans fit better.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA.
The Twin Ports have become a mecca for cycling. Whether it be single track or road biking, when you're pushing the pedal harder but not going farther, Twin Ports Cyclery has what you need to gear up and get out there.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother, and I am an American soldier. I will always be ready
for every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
35 years ago, Mannheim Steamroller released an album that revolutionized Christmas forever. The album that started it all, Mannheim Steamroller Christmas, will be performed live in its entirety for the first time ever. Come celebrate America's favorite Christmas tradition. Mannheim Steamroller Christmas by Chip Davis. November 22nd at the Deck Symphony Hall. Tickets on sale now at Amsoil Arena Box Office and Ticketmaster.com. Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
Here's another happy Healthy Systems USA customer.
My name is Sue Ann. 65 days, I've dropped to 130. I've lost 71 pounds.
If you've got that, don't worry about that. Healthy Systems USA.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Friday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and see what's coming up at 6.
Tonight at 5, we brought you the latest on the ongoing situation in Spooner, Wisconsin. Officials today still aren't sure what caused the evacuation Wednesday at the school, but say the investigation has turned to a product used in nearby utility work. Again, this is an ongoing investigation.
And coming up tonight at 6, we spoke with 2 of the students hospitalized from that incident at Spooner Middle School. They share their experience coming up.
That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is up next.
We'll see you right back here at 6.